Hello, Mooncrafters. Welcome. This is Craft of Moon. On March 20th, just a little past 2 a.m. Pacific time, the sun slips into the sign of Aries. At that very moment, the moon is in Sagittarius in its waning, disseminating phase. Journeying steadily toward the new moon after recently having shown its full moon phase during our lunar eclipse. We spoke about that total lunar eclipse last week, and hopefully many of you were able to see it if you were in the Americas. Now, as the sun enters Aries, we find ourselves in a liminal space, a threshold between cycles, where one cosmic chapter gently closes and another, brimming with raw energy, is poised to begin. As the moon moves through its disseminating phase, it carries the echoes of the full moon's revelations, distributing its light across the cosmos like a storyteller sharing wisdom gathered from experience. This is the phase of release and integration where we begin to make sense of what has surfaced and let go of what no longer serves us. The disseminating moon in Sagittarius encourages a reflective process, one that invites us to speak our truth, process lessons, and prepare for renewal. It is the moment when the cycle slows, urging us to sift through the insights, emotions, and transformations of the past lunation so that we can clear the way for the upcoming solar eclipse. What remains unresolved will soon come to a breaking point, but for now, this is a time to unburden, to share, and to surrender in preparation for what comes next. If you enjoy listening to these cosmic insights and narrations of the moon's phase and cycles, please remember, subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out. Like the video, share it with your friends. This moment isn't merely a calendrical change. It is a profound turning point. The sun's entry into Aries signals the exaltation of solar energy, marking a transition from the dissolving, dreamy qualities of Pisces into the fierce initiating force of Aries. For a brief period, the balance between light and dark is perfect. Day and night share equal power, reminding us why we call this the equinox. This is the calm before the creative storm, a time when the energy of new beginnings is palpable, yet tempered by the lessons of the past. At the same time, Venus and Mercury are still retrograde, lingering like unresolved echoes from what has come before. Venus is now positioned at the 5th degree of Aries, and Mercury sits at the 8th degree, both moving in their retrograde dance, slowly retreating as they prepare to approach cazimi with the sun. Their motion tells us that while the flame of Aries is being rekindled, the process of releasing old burdens and outdated patterns is not yet complete. The moon in Sagittarius, placed in the 7th degree, forms a tight alignment with these Aries-housed planets. This narrow orb speaks to the moon's wandering Sagittarian vagabond nature, a cosmic storyteller returning the light and wisdom gathered from its journey through the heavens. There is something profoundly liberating about the moon in her disseminating phase. It is as if she has already begun to shed her burdens, generously returning the light she has collected to her starry children. The close alignment between these two fire signs evokes the warm, inviting imagery of campfire stories or the gentle cadence of bedtime tales, moments when we gather to share our memories, our lessons, and our dreams as a way of accepting what must be let go. It is one of the big reasons we tell stories. Not to hold on, but to let go. Meanwhile, the North Node remains in Pisces, hinting at our deepest aspirations and the visionary potential that still lingers, even as Neptune softens the boundaries between reality and illusion. This out-of-sign configuration is significant, and it's out of sign because the Sun and Moon will be in Aries, while the nodes of the Moon will still remain in Pisces. And although the Sun has boldly stepped into Aries, that interplay with the Moon's nodal axis persists as a tension that will ultimately find resolution when the Moon and the Sun join in the upcoming eclipse. For now, we see Mercury and Venus still in retrograde, gradually making their way toward cazimi with the Sun. And over the next few days, we can expect these retrograde energies to manifest as palpable tension. Venus will shed her vestments of old desire, and Mercury will strip away the clutter from our thoughts. Their gradual reunion with the Sun, this nearly orgasmic, synodic moment, is a time of deep rejuvenation and rebirth, where passion and clarity are distilled into their essential truths. This threshold moment marks not only the spring equinox, but also the zodiacal new year, a time when the balance of light and darkness is perfectly even before the scales tip in favor of the light. In Aries, the Sun is exalted. Its energy is at its most potent and vibrant. Aries is the initiator, the spark that sets everything into motion. Yet, as potent as this new fire is, we must remember that we are still emerging from a period of deep release. We have just navigated the intensity of the total lunar eclipse, a time when hidden truths were exposed and old layers shed. The moon, still in its gentle disseminating phase, is busy returning that hard-won light to the cosmos, to us, to you, to me. It is a moment of reflection, a time to sift through the lessons of the past and prepare ourselves for the bold, unfiltered, raw energy of Aries. Over the coming days, as Venus and Mercury continue their retrograde journeys, they will soon approach cazimi with the Sun. For Venus, this sacred union is set for March 23rd, the Hieros Gamos, the Gamos Hieros. And for Mercury, it arrives on March 24th. Then on March 29th, the moon will reconnect with the Sun, forming a new moon that heralds the next dramatic phase of our cosmic cycle. By the time both Venus and Mercury will have moved out of Aries, signaling the end of this preparatory liminal period, right now we stand firmly on the threshold, witnessing the Sun's powerful entry into Aries, engaged in a delicate dance with the retrograde Venus and Mercury, in a prelude to the transformative energy of the upcoming eclipse. This is a moment of surrender and renewal. It is the spring equinox, when day and night are equal and the light begins to claim dominion over darkness in the northern hemisphere. Aries, the exaltation of the Sun, is where solar energy burns brightest, a place of raw power and relentless initiation. It is the spark that compels us to emerge from our shadows, to boldly act, and to be fearless. Yet, for all its dynamic force, this is also a time of letting go. The moon's role in its disseminating phase reminds us that before we can fully embrace new beginnings, we must release the burdens of the past, old patterns, outdated beliefs, and all that no longer serves our growth. This is essential. Before we can invite our dreams to be planted in the soil of our lives, we need to make space for them to grow. Before we can invite our dreams to be planted in the soil of our lives, we need to make space for them to grow. Now, let's explore what this shift means on both a personal and collective level. On March 21st, Venus in retrograde forms a sextile with Pluto in Aries, Aquarius. This aspect is like a cosmic scalpel, stripping away old values and unmasking the true desires hidden beneath layers of conditioning. It forces us to confront what we truly want as opposed to what we have been conditioned to desire. This world is a master at conditioning us to desire things outside of ourselves. This is a time of deep recalibration in our relationships, our finances, and self-worth. A moment when power dynamics shift and illusions dissolve. Then on March 22nd, Venus reaches its cazimi, entering the heart of the sun. And in this sacred moment of purification, this union, Venus is bathed in solar clarity. The hidden recesses of our desires are illuminated, offering a profound reset in how we view relationships, money, and self-esteem. This Venusian reset, this rebirth, invites us to imagine new possibilities in love and value, our values, our personal, inherent values of self-worth. Shortly after, on March 24th, Mercury in retrograde achieves its cazimi, and this is a brilliant moment for the mind, a flash of intellectual illumination where our thoughts are purified. The meeting of Mercury and the Sun brings a surge of clarity to our communication, compelling us to re-examine what is true and what must be rethought. In this process, outdated ideas and miscommunications are burned away, allowing new, sharper expressions to emerge. Together, these retrograde moments of Venus and Mercury create an inner alchemy, a stripping down to the essentials that prepares our hearts and minds for the dynamic initiating energy of Aries. Their journey from retrograde retreat to cazimi with the sun is their rebirth, a nearly orgasmic union that resets our creative and communicative faculties. On March 23rd, the sun forms a sextile with Pluto, again Aries Aquarius, creating a powerful transformative alignment between personal will and collective power. The sun in Aries represents our identity, drive, and capacity to initiate change, while Pluto in Aquarius symbolizes the deep restructuring of power on a global scale, the unseen forces that govern our societal frameworks. This harmonious aspect is a moment of empowerment, a call to reclaim our personal autonomy even as larger systemic shifts unfold around us. It asks us, where do we truly stand? Are we embracing our own strength, or are we still, perhaps unknowingly, clinging to old patterns of control? Pluto's energy forces us to confront these hidden dynamics, urging us to dismantle structures that no longer serve our collective well-being. True power, as this alignment suggests, is not about force. It's about clarity, discernment, and the courage to stand in our own authority. This aspect serves as a bridge between the intimate and the collective, reminding us that our personal transformations contribute to the broader shifts of the world. As we navigate these energies, we are encouraged to act not impulsively, but with deep, reflective awareness, claiming our power while remaining open to the transformative forces that Pluto represents. As we stand on the brink of this new cycle, our gaze turns to the upcoming solar eclipse on March 29th, and you can stay tuned to this channel to get information on that eclipse. Just go ahead and subscribe. And again, if you're enjoying this video, now's a good time to hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, I do want to hear what your comments are. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this moment in time. Please add those to the comments below. This upcoming solar eclipse is a dramatic event that will be out of sign, bridging the realms of Aries and Pisces. Although the sun has boldly entered Aries, remnants of the old cycle still linger. What are those? Those are the remnants of our entanglement in unfinished threads, carrying the weight of unresolved patterns that must be released before we can fully embrace the future. This phase is a purification, a time to acknowledge what has been illuminated and to discern what must be left behind so that space can be made for the new. Ask yourself, what old stories, beliefs, or attachments are you ready to let go of? What burdens no longer serve your highest good? The pre-eclipse phase is not yet the moment for decisive action. Rather, it is a sacred pause, a time to surrender, to release, and to prepare for the rebirth that the new solar eclipse promises. We are standing at the threshold where the dissolution of the past meets the emergence of a new beginning. This is our opportunity to clear the way for fresh energy, to make space for the vibrant, transformative power of Aries to fully manifest in our lives. In addition to articulating the astrological weather, I also want to highlight some of the archetypal themes that I have seen in the world at large. These are archetypal themes that we will recognize when we're watching the news, reading the news, listening to the stories of our friends. This is what is going on right now. These are the archetypes that are manifesting, and I think it's good to highlight these. The cosmic dance of fate and free will is unfolding across economic, political, and technological landscapes, mirroring the same transformations occurring within us all. These themes are not just planetary. I mean, as if just planetary is something small. They are woven into the choices we make, the conflicts we engage in, and the paths we forge, so they are personal to us. We may see them in the news. We may see these things happening in the world, but they are happening within each and every one of us. The Merchant's Crossroad, the first of the archetypes, talks about economic uncertainty and trade tensions. The merchant, the gambler, and the alchemist are the archetypes at play. The global economy teeters on a precipice where those who master the art of exchange and risk will thrive, while those clinging to outdated models may falter. The merchant understands the power of negotiation and adaptability. The gambler embraces risk and the alchemist transforms crisis into opportunity. As trade restrictions tighten and global financial landscapes lift, the game of resources is being rewritten. Are you still playing by the old rules, or have you learned to adapt? What resources, financial, creative, or intellectual, must you transmute to stay aligned with the shifting tides? The next archetypal paradigm is the kingdom's reckoning, political power and judicial scrutiny. The archetypes at play here are the king, the judge, and the rebel. Authority is at a breaking point. Those in power fortify their thrones, the judge demands truth and accountability, and the rebel ignites unrest in the face of oppression. Old power structures are desperately clinging to control, yet the celestial clock is ticking. The collective is awakening, questioning who truly holds dominion. Where in your life are you encountering power struggles? Are you clinging to control, seeking truth, or standing in quiet resistance? Which archetype is calling to you? The king, the judge, or the rebel? The next archetypal paradigm is the architect's dilemma. Technology, innovation, and AI rivalries. And the architects at play here are the visionary, the magician, and the trickster. A technological revolution is unfolding, but who is writing the rules? The visionary sees infinite potential. The magician crafts tools that reshape reality, and the trickster warns of the unforeseen consequences lurking beneath the surface. Artificial intelligence, automation, and digital sovereignty are redefining power. But are we the creators or the subjects of this unfolding era? Are you wielding technology as a tool of empowerment, or is it shaping your world without your consent? What illusions about innovation do you need to see through? The next archetypal paradigm, the warrior's trial, dealing with global conflict and ceasefires. And the archetypes at play here are the warrior, the healer, the shadow. The drum beats of conflict and the longing for peace exist in equal measure. The warrior prepares for battle. The healer seeks reconciliation, and the shadow, hidden wounds, unresolved fears, lurks beneath every confrontation. This is not just about war on the battlefield. It is about the battles within. Are you fighting out of instinct, or is your battle truly meaningful? Where are you resisting resolution, and where does healing need to begin? Next is the pilgrim's journey. Speaking of migration and global movement, the archetypes are the pilgrim, the exile, and the seeker. Borders are shifting, both physically and metaphorically. Some are fleeing, others are seeking, and many are caught between the two. The pilgrim embarks on a destined path. The exile is forced from their homeland, and the seeker searches for meaning in unfamiliar terrain. We are all moving in some way. What journey is calling to you? Are you resisting movement, or are you being asked to surrender to the unknown? Next, we have the cosmic riddle, dealing with the resurgence of tradition and forgotten knowledge. The archetypes at play, the trickster, the storyteller, the timekeeper. The past is not gone. It is resurfacing, finding new expression in unexpected ways. The timekeeper reminds us that cycles repeat. The storyteller reweaves old myths into new truths, and the trickster warns that history, if ignored, will demand to be relived. Whether through ancient practices, returning philosophies, or the rediscovery of lost knowledge, the past is whispering. Are we listening? What forgotten wisdom is calling you back? What part of your own story needs to be rewritten. The crossroads of fate and free will. The cosmic stage is set and the great archetypes are moving. The question is, where do you stand? Are you the merchant, trading wisely, the rebel challenging authority, the seeker venturing into the unknown? Each of us has a role to play in this grand unfolding. The stars illuminate the path, but the steps you take are your own. If you would like a more personalized reading on how these energies are shaping your sign or your personal chart, feel free to visit my website and book a reading. You can also drop comments below or visit my blog or any of my social media channels for deeper insights. This Aries equinox is not just a new beginning, it is a profound reckoning with the past. As we step into this threshold moment, take a moment to reflect. What are you feeling called to let go of before you step boldly into the new cycle? What old patterns, beliefs, or attachments must be released to make way for the powerful energy of Aries? I invite you to share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. What themes are emerging for you, and what are you ready to surrender? For those seeking deeper insight, please visit my website, book a reading. You can access additional guidance to help navigate this transformative time. The fire is returning. Let it burn away what no longer serves you, clearing the path for a brighter, more authentic future. Every act of release, no matter how small, is a giant leap toward the new, and we stand together on this threshold. May the radiant energy of Aries empower you to embrace change, ignite your inner light, and step confidently into the next chapter of your journey. Thank you for joining me on this transformative adventure. Keep your heart open, your mind clear, and your spirit bold as we journey into this new season of renewal. Until next time, keep your eye on the sky and make a wish upon a star.